Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am reading One Piece Omnibus Volume 6 by Oda, obviously. And this is covering Volume 16, 17 and 18 and I'm very excited to continue. We are on manga night now, so I have a few good sprints to get through this and then some other mangas which is in the manga vlog but not in this video obviously. But yeah, I'm gonna go through chapter by chapter like we do in these videos. And without further ado, let's start the first volume, which is 116, Carrying on His Will. We are on chapter 137, which is called Avalanche. So what will happen? What will happen? I don't know, but I will find out very soon. Lots of dramatic things happened. So we have the Avalanche, which has a totally different word in Norwegian, so I always get confused with what it actually is. But yeah, Sanji and Luffy is in the middle of it, and then they are trying to like get over like what's to say like a little like rock so they will be like above the avalanche, but then it's not enough, so they get like pushed down by the snow. They find a tree to ride for a little period, but then those damn rabbits that I don't remember the name of, if they were actually like called rabbits, attacks them. So Sanji like goes off the tree to protect Luffy because he can't see, so he has Nami on his back, and then he like almost disappears in the snow, but Luffy manages to grab a hold of him. But it was very dramatic, and they are both like super hurt that he's carrying both of them. Also before that he said that Nami comes first, second and third and fourth and fifth, and it was just very sweet. I think King Vapo is like, he's still in the village, you know, and he's just like, I think shocked looking at the snow or something. I don't even know, but we will figure it out. We're going to chapter 138, which is the summit. This one was sad. It was sad. So the people in like a, what's it called, a sled comes and attack Luffy, and I don't remember, is that Vapo? Is that the king, or is it just like his associates? But either way, they attack Luffy, and then he's like about to fight them, but then he remembered Sanji told him that like if he fights them, Nami may feel it. So he tries to run away, but they like, he almost get caught, and he's also carrying Sanji as well. But then the rabbits, they're not called rabbits, they are called Lapins, like protected him and like let him get away. And then we see Luffy like climb the mountain up to this castle where he thinks the doctor is, and as we know, the doctor is down in the village. And then he's like hands are bleeding, he's like holding on for their life. He almost loses Sanji at a point and like catches him with his teeth with like by like stretching his head. And it looks insane, and like it made me like feel so sad and stressed for him. But now he's like up on the top and he's so exhausted, he almost like falls down the cliff again. But then like a huge bear catches him. So we shall see what happens with that. The next one is called chapter 139. Enter Tony Chopper, which I heard about Chopper. I seen drawings of Chopper, but I don't know anything about Chopper. So now I'm excited to see what this Chopper is, and are they gonna join the group? We shall see. Okay, so first we have Usopp in the village together with the princess, and he is like passed out, but then he wakes up and his whole face is swollen because he has frostbite. And then Sora's suddenly there because apparently he took a swim and then he was taken by the avalanche and he doesn't have any clothes and he's freezing. Wait, Sora can feel temperature? Never heard about that before. And then they like in the village again, and then you know like King Wapon's people are there and they're like, you can't resist us. And then Sora just punches one in the face because he's one in his jacket. And it seems like a fight is going to break out, but we jump back to Luffy and them. We have Nami waking up and she's like, where am I? And then the doctor was apparently back. I don't remember her going back, but she was apparently there. And she's saying that she's Kureha and that she's a doctor and that she treated her and that her friends brought her there. And Luffy and Sanji are feeling better. They're trying to eat Chopper, who was apparently a reindeer who ate a human fruit, which means he can do everything a human can do. And then he is super cute and tiny. And then also he grows huge and like punches them when they try to eat him. And then she also treated Sanji for his wounds as well as like Luffy for whatever. Like, I mean, his hands were bleeding and stuff, but he will be fine. And then she also says that she has taught Chopper all her skills. If Chopper joins the crew, they have a doctor there, which seems they need. And also apparently Nami got sick by getting a bite from like this insect that kills you in 5 days. She went around with her tummy out when they were in the jungle place, but she will be better in 3 days. So hopefully, I don't think she has 3 days to rest, but we shall see. But yeah, a lot of things is going on. I really enjoy them all. Really enjoy everything. Now we are on chapter 140, the Castle of Snow. Sorry, the like art for the introduction for the chapter is like One Piece on a perfect day, and it's all of them just enjoying life. I love that so much. I just saw that before I turned the page. My heart got warm. I'm happy. The series is going into my heart and I can't stop it. So in this one, we basically just have Luffy trying to get, I'm calling her the witch, the doctor to join, like the old lady. And then she's like, no, why would I? And she's like, just do it. Come on, join, right? And then she's like, no. And then every time they see Chapter, they try to hunt him down because Sanji wants to make dinner for him, Tsunami, which is terrible, but okay. And then just like running after him. And then he runs into Nami because she tried to get out of bed because she tried to close the door. And then he's just like, no. And then she's like, well, do you want to join us? He's like, no. But it seems like he wants to, but he doesn't want to open his heart. Then the doctor comes in and tells Nami his story, which is that he was an outsider with the reindeers because he had a blue nose and not a red one. And then he ate the fruit, and then he was even more of an outsider because he would like acted, he could walk into legs, he was weird. And then he tried to join the humans, but they also treated him like, they call him like the abominable snowman and everything. So he didn't fit in with them either. And then she started to tell that there was a man who took care of him. He gave Chapter his name and treated him like a son. And then, like, I guess we're gonna hear the rest of the story in the next chapter. Meanwhile, Sanji and Luffy are close. They try to close the doors and stuff in the castle. It's full of snow. And then they almost close the door that Chopper tells them not to do. And he, like, goes big and is like, don't do that. And then they look at each other and it's like, did he just grow big? And he's a monster. And then he seems super sad. But then they're like, oh my god, we want him to join. And then they try to chase him down to make him join them instead of eating him. But the reason they didn't want to close the doors because some birds was like on top and they would have fallen down like some bird babies if they closed it. So he has a heart. I think now he's gonna join. I'm so happy. I guess we're gonna get this sad backstory now. Chapter 141, Quack Doctor. So let's go. Okay, so we have some backstory. First, we see Sorrow like defeating all of like the people, the what's it called, Wapple's followers. And I find Dalton and they say he's already dead, his heart is stopped, but I hope they will revive him. And then we get the backstory of like the town, the Drum Kingdom. We see this doctor going around trying to save people. He was not a good doctor or physician, whatever you want to call him, Dr. Hiriluk or Quack Doctor. And he is a very bad physician. He like ejects someone with a medicine and then they die. So it's very good. And then he kind of gets shouted out by the witch that I like to call her. And then he goes out into the forest after like being chased out of town. And then he sees Chopper who has been shot. And like he saves him and treats him. Chopper wakes up and gets some bread and is crying. And says he would never shoot him. And then I guess we get more sad backstory in the next chapter as well, which is chapter 142, Skull and Cherry Blossoms. Okay, I guess this series is written to break your heart. First, we get some flashbacks. So he took care of Chopper, gave him his name, gave him his hat, and they keep trying to go into the village over like a year, trying to like give these cures to people, and then I think it finally worked. I don't even actually know if it worked. At the same time, we have like this convention where all the like kings, rulers meet. And Wapple assaults the little girl, which like we know in future. I literally can't remember her name right now. It's not Miss Wednesday, is it? I've forgotten her name. Princess Vivi. Jesus, I forgot her name. I just checked. Vivi and Nami looks a lot similar. Just saying. He kind of like assaults her and then she just brushes it off because, you know, she can start a war and everyone says that a 10-year-old has more grace than the king does because we all know that's Wapple is shit. But either way, when it's been a year, the Quack Doctor throws Chopper out and Chopper's like, why? I would do anything. Please, let me in. And then he like hurts himself to get in because, yeah, he says he's good now and lets him go. And then he tries to shoot him, even though he promised he never would shoot him, and breaks Chopper's heart. And then we see him cry and he's like, forgive me, Chopper, afterwards. Chopper. And I think it was because everyone like in the village treated him bad, I think. And he didn't want Chopper to be treated like that. But I'm like, but he's treated like that anyway. I didn't really get it, but I guess we get enough explanation. But it broke Chopper's heart. So now we're sad. Yeah, I guess we still in flashback. It's chapter 143, Clumsy. Still in flashback. So we have Quack. He's sick. He's dying. He's gonna die in a few days. But the witch can prolong his life for 3 weeks. He wants to grow cherry blossoms on this winter island because apparently when he was out adventuring, or was he a pirate? Who knows? He saw some cherry blossoms that healed his heart or his soul, and then he lived longer and he was cured. And she's like, you can't grow cherry blossoms in a winter place. And he's like, that's gonna be my legacy, my swan song. And he's going to try to make this happen before he dies in 3 weeks. And then Chopper goes out and gets really hurt because he tries to get a mushroom. I don't get if that mushroom cure diseases or a cure, but we shall see. He brought that mushroom to him so he would live, I think. So I think it's a cure. And he's like all banged up. And he's like, please also teach me to become a doctor. I want to be like you. And he says to Chopper that he has the biggest qualification to become a doctor, which is a big heart. And then they hug. I don't like this, but okay. Chapter 144, Snowtail. Okay, break my heart. So the mushroom was what Chopper thought was a cure. It was not a cure. It's poisonous. It's gonna kill him within an hour. He goes out and says he's better because he saw the pirate side beside the thing in the book, and he thought it was a sign of hope because that was what the Crocodile had told him. But it's a sign for that, obviously, as we know, but he hadn't been told this. And then she tells him there's like the witch, and he's like heartbroken, trying to cry. And then we see the Crocodile trying to go out and like save the 20 doctors who are sick. The 20 doctors on this island, the only ones that are there. And then that's where he arrives. He also begs her to take in Chopper and teach him medicine. And also like begs her to like take the serum he made to take over his legacy. Chapter 145, Carrying on His Will. Okay, so we actually finished now with the first volume, which I feel like it's taking ages because I'm vlogging. But either way, we get the rest of the flashback. The Crocodile was summoned to cure these doctors, but apparently it was fake. But I thought they all died. But either way, it was fake, so to lure me in, because like they summoned him to cure them. But it was fake. And then he exploded himself and says that he will never die because his legacy will live on. And he calls Chopper his son, but he's dead. And he said, like, to Chopper, even though he wasn't there, that your mushroom didn't kill me because he exploded himself. Dalton is told to attack Chopper, but he lets him go because he's like, you the hope. Don't fight here and lose. Go and like let Crocker's legacy live on. So he does that, and then he's also, Dalton I think was arrested, but he doesn't give up. We see Luffy in the future hit, I think it is Bopple, or is it someone else? It looks like at least someone, some kind of leader thingy. So I think so. And yeah, I hope Chopper joins them, obviously. Yeah, that was a really messy explanation. We're going to volume 17. Hiriluk's Cherry Blossoms. I can't believe that's the name of the chapter. I call him the Quack Doctor because I thought it was easier to remember than Hiriluk. But yeah. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this chapter was called The Battle to Defend the Kingdom. And I don't actually remember how, like, the king of Apple, like, arrived up top. I think they just got there before the flashbacks. I don't actually know. But either way, Luffy beats him in the face and they're gonna start fighting. Chopper says that they're defending, like, the castle. Not because, like, they want to rule or anything like that. Because it used to be his castle, you know? But because it was, like, in remembrance of the Quack Doctor. The Quack Doctor? I don't think that was even what he was called anymore. And he also has like his flag of hope on the top of the castle, which is literally a pirate flag alone. So yeah, he has to have been a pirate before. And then they're just gonna start fighting. Sanji and Chopper gets a bit owned. Luffy goes to find a jacket because he's cold in the middle of the fight and gets to borrow Nami's jacket. And Nami's just like, oh, they're just probably messing around. And now they're gonna basically fight. That's what's going on. That's what we want, you know? Let's fight. Chapter 147, Frauds. Okay, so back in the village, we have the 20 doctors who came with Wapol. They're gonna cure Dalton because apparently he was just frozen, but they can cure him, and they start to cure him when he wakes up. And Usopp is standing there like, yeah, Luffy and Sanji and all are fine. And then Sora's like, you're just afraid to climb a mountain, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. And then Dalton wakes up and he's like, we need to go fight them or else we will be slaves forever. We need to go and fight him now. And then Usopp just steps up and is like, come on my back, I will carry you to the mountain. Actual, like, goosebumps right now. I don't know if you can see. Just love the development there. And then at the same time, we have the Luffy fight going on. They are like fighting. Wapol becomes Wapol House and eats his own man to become bigger. Cannibalism and stuff. They scream cannibalism. And then he goes up to the flag that was on top. And Luffy says that they are frauds because you pretended to be pirates, but you weren't willing to risk your lives. You don't know the meaning of this flag. So he's holding the flag in his hand. So I wonder if Chopper will be mad at him because he touched the Quack Doctor's flag. We shall see. Chapter 148, Unbreakable. Okay. So first of all, we have Usopp trying to carry Dalton. for a bit. And then Sora just takes them and it's like super easy and it's just like I love them. Okay, and then we go back to the fight, and then Luffy's trying to have this whole speech about what the pirate fight means, and then Wapan just basically like shoots a cannon in his face, and everyone's like, haha, I blew up, fly, and Luffy's just fine, and they're like, oh, super shocked, and it brings hope in Chopper's heart. And then they're gonna fight. Sandra tries to help, but the witch doctor like stops him because she's like, you have a broken back, you're not ready. And then she like steps on his back to stop him. So then he's just lying there in a pool of pain. And Luffy's like, I'm your friend, you can take care of the other guy, right? Which was like one of like the associates to Wapol. And then Luffy is gonna fight Wapol himself. And it's very, very sweet. Them standing up for each other. And just the moment of hope. Him holding a flag. It was beautiful. Chopper takes out something called a rumble ball. And the next chapter is called 149 Rumble. So let's see what Chopper can do. Chopper was awesome. He had like the rumble ball is like kind of medicine thing that he has been working with for years that gives him different transformation forms. So it's like many different forms and like he jumps and like gets big and small and all that stuff and like fights this dude and finds his weakness point and then like right in his face and defeats him. And Luffy's watching this whole time and it said like you have 3 minutes because like that lasts for 2 minutes or something. It was exactly accurate and he was really cool. It was basically a whole cool fight of him just being really cool and it was adorable. And now we have 150 Royal Drum Crown 7-shot Tin Tyrant Cannon. It was a really long name. So in this one, while this whole fight was happening, Wapol ran inside and he meets Nami, who decided in that moment to get out of bed. She's like, I don't want to lie here anymore. And then he chases her down. She steals his keys. Or tries to. And then Luffy comes in and like stops her. And Luffy sees that Luffy has just destroyed her jacket. And then she's like, well, you can give pay back in interest and like, you owe me 100,000 berries. He's like, you planned this all along. It's so stupid. He had this huge cannon that Wapol runs to. That cannon, he's supposed to fire it at Luffy, but it turns out it turns into a bird nest and it doesn't actually explode anything. And he's super, super shocked. And then Luffy's like, wow, I don't care if you're king or not. There are things that matter more than power because I am a pirate. While at the same time, we have Shoppy outside crying because Luffy called him a friend earlier when they were fighting. Adorable, adorable. I think they got this. I think they're fine. And of course, they're saving this whole town. Are they pirates or are they just heroes? Honestly. We have chapter 151, The Skies of Drum. Huge part is happening. I don't really know what's going on. But we have the people of the town, like with Dalton, they're going up and like the one like thread that was connected to the mountain that like no one thought was working anymore. So they're in like a kind of like what's it called, like a cart going upwards, like with Usopp and Vivi and all the others. So they are joining eventually. And then at the same time, we have like Wapol being super mad, and he like explodes like the whole top of the castle. Luffy like, I was gonna say, he's like thrown out through like the roof. Is that Luffy or is it Wapol? I don't even know. Luffy stresses far. He uses gum bazooka, and he's like, it basically creates like a huge attack. I don't even actually see what's happening because we can't see it until the next chapter. But it was a huge fight. And now we're going to chapter 152, Full Moon. Oh my god, it's getting so dark. I took a little break eating some noodles, but I'm continuing. He's defeated now apparently. I think that last hit we saw that I don't really get what happened. He like flew off and he's defeated. And they're looking for the key to his weaponry. Obviously Nami took it earlier, but she traded that for the payment, for like the treatment. And the doctor says they can't really leave, but then she also says that the jacket is over there and there's no guards, so I'm gonna go and don't run off. But basically she's giving them permission to run off since they can't really wait for 2 more days. They need to go to save Vivi's kingdom. At the same time, we have Luffy and Zoro and Sanji trying to find Chopper or like convince Chopper to come with them. And he's like, no, I can't. And then he's like, just do it. And he's like, okay, fine. So it seems like he's coming with them. Yes, I'm so happy for more chaos, more I can't wait. Okay, just this crew and all the different like quirks and personalities and like what makes them them. It's just so great. I love it so much. Okay, so we are chapter 153. Hiriluk's cherry blossoms. Are they gonna bloom in this one? I might cry. Let's see. So Chap has decided to go with him, and he tells the old witch that, and she's like, no, you can't go. I've been training you for all these years. For what reason? Why are you going? Like literally shouting at him. And then he runs off and he's like, I'm going anyway. And then Dalton is like, why did you do that? And she's like, an unalong tearful goodbyes. So obviously she wanted him to go. She was smiling when she let him leave. My heart, my heart. And then they use a cannon to take the powder that the doctor made. And then it's like snowballs, it's snowing. And they're saying it's beautiful. And I think it's like light in the sky. But this is black and white. I don't really get. Like, what are we seeing here? What is this? Is it an explosion? Is it a cherry blossom on the top of the mountains? It's supposed to be pink, so I guess it is like something cherry blossom. I don't know. But obviously Chopper sees this and cries. And that's her goodbye to him. And it was really sweet. We are now leaving. We are now leaving. So now we're going to chapter 154, on to Alabasta, which is Vivi's kingdom. Are we actually going to Alabasta, or do we have more pit stops on the way? I don't know, but let's see, let's see. Okay, so before we actually set sail, we are a bit with like the hex doctor, the witch doctor, Dalton, and he says that they met someone on sea, or like the people who was with Walpole says that they met someone earlier that came with a warning, with a wanted poster of Luffy, and it says that the price is worth 30 million berries. But apparently this dude says he's waiting for Luffy at Alabasta Island. He's waiting for him in 10 days, and his name is Ace, and that Luffy will understand who he is. And I'm like, who's this? I thought at first it was Shanks, but he called himself Ace, and I'm like, Shanks wouldn't call himself Ace, right? So it's like, is it his brother? I heard something about Luffy's brother somewhere, that he has a brother. Or is it something completely else? I don't know, because we don't know, you know, the 10 years when Shanks left and then Luffy was ready to go out and become the Pirate King. We don't know what he did in those 10 years. And I assume that's something we will look into at a point. I have no idea. But anyway, then we go to Luffy and them. They're having a party, celebrating. The bird that I've forgotten the name of is like freezing because he jumped into the water to save Zoro, and then he's just like freezing while the others are partying. And Chopper's super happy to join his crew. He forgot apparently his medical bag, and he's like, no, because he left so fast. But he probably was in the sled all along because the doctor put it there and knew what he was thinking all along. And they were like, she's a good woman, and that he has several skills. He can also understand animals. And then Sanji says he's an emergency food supply. Jeez. But either way, they're celebrating, being super happy. They're on the way to Alabasta. We see something of Mr. 2, you know, for BAROQUE works, talking with someone at Alabasta, I think. But I guess it will make sense soon when we actually get there. Now we have chapter 155, Sir Crocodile, the Pirate. Okay, so we saw Alabasta for a moment, the Sandy Island, which is a bit funny because sometimes people call me Sandy, which is, it's my island. I can be Princess Vivi. Princess Vivi, by the way, and Tsunami look a lot alike sometimes, and sometimes I mix them up a bit. Either way, we saw for a moment Mr. Crocodile, who's one of the rulers of the sea who wants to take over Alabasta Island. Some pirates try to take him down, and he defeats them super easily. And obviously, this is where Luffy and them are going, and they need to defeat him. They talk a bit about how BAROQUE works. That obviously Mr. Crocodile is on top, and then all like the numbers go underneath, and they also are paired up with a woman, and the women are always days like Valentine's Day, Wednesday, all that stuff, while the dudes are always numbers. They're just talking about if the BAROQUE works, ultimate goal is to take over of Alabasta, then the remaining officer and agents will be coming together. So then we like see a glimpse of them. So it seems like they're all gonna be there at the island when they get there. Are we all like gonna have one fight with each of them for one each character maybe, and then Luffy will always take on Mr. Crocodile? Either way, I don't know. But now we are on the last volume in this. So we are on volume 18. Ace arrives. Which is Ace, the one we saw earlier. Who is Ace? Is Ace Luffy's brother? I don't know. But we shall, I guess, figure it out. Or is it Shanks? I don't know. It's because Shanks is here in the beginning. Why is Shanks there? If it's not him. Oh no, wait. Ace is here. Ace is there, and Shanks is down there, so it can't be the same person. Interesting. Okay. Chapter is 156. Oh, come my way days. Let's go. Okay, so they're out in the sea and picks up Mr. 2, but they don't know he's Mr. 2. And then he shows them his power, which is basically he touches people's faces and then he can turn into them, and then he can always remember their face forever. So he's a shapeshifter. He has a gummer fruit. They send him from the sea, but I guess he knew that. And then he's also picked up by the ship in the end, and they realizes who he actually is. Vivi also saw her father's face there for a moment, and it seems like maybe he wanted to impersonate her father, because like, you know, they're taking over the whole place. But also I don't think it's good that he has their faces, because Luffy and the others are easily tricked. So can he just say he's them and then say something and they will probably believe him? But at the same time, Zoro says that it's good for them that they got to see this, because now they can plan their strategy. I'm like, what strategy? What do you mean? So I guess we figured that out. We shall see, I guess, how that works out. I guess they will be smarter than I am. Chapter 157, Ace arrives. Who is Ace? I need to know! Ace is his brother! Ace is his brother! Ace is his brother! Okay. Let's reel back for a second. They arrive at Alabasta Island. The tactic is that they have like bands on their arms so that they will see who's who, if they actually them. If that's gonna go against them, I don't know, but Zoro can be smart sometimes. Sometimes he's so smart and then he's so stupid. It's so confusing. They are actually. Then they arrive, they're all like, Profits, let's go, we're going. And then there was also like a ship behind them. They were like, we don't care about this small fry. Then we go over to this cafe where this dude is eating, and then he's like passed out and I think he died of poisoning or something. And then he wakes up, and then they all are just like, oh my god, you're alive. And then he just falls asleep again in mid-conversation. It says he's part of White Bear's pirates. His name is Port Gas the Ace. And he says, I'm just looking for my kid brother. Backstory coming. Because you don't really know anything about Luffy if you think about it. You know, he ate a gum fruit. Shanks, he looked up to a lot when he was a kid. And he's an idiot and he loves food. That's all we know in the manga so far. I know he has a grandfather in the live action, but it hasn't arrived in the manga yet. So, like, why was he all alone when Shanks was going around as we saw him? I don't know. I guess we maybe find out eventually. Now, we are on chapter 158, landing in Alabasta. Okay, so Luffy's walking in town, smells food, and goes into a restaurant where Ace was eating. They don't really like interact because he's busy eating. And then Smoker shows up, which was one of the Nami, also that girl that Zoro interacted with the swords. So they're running off Luffy and he's running with food in his mouth. And then they catch up to him almost. And then Ace shows up and then Luffy's like, Ace! And then the chapter ends. We also have Nami and Vivi shopping for new clothes. Their torsos are longer than everything in the whole world. A interesting drawing of a woman's torso. That's all I got to say. Luffy leads like the Navy over to the others and they're like, don't lead him over here, but he's doing it. And now we will see the brother reunion, maybe. Chapter 159. Come on, really. Okay, so Ace arrives at the ship after taking care of like the other Navy people. The main neighbor, Smoker Dude, looks a lot like Zoro, by the way. And he has like flame gun fruit he has eaten, so he has flame powers. And then everyone is like, how do you know this dude? And Luffy's like, he's my brother. And they're like, what? And he's like, he's 3 years older than me, so he left 3 years before me. And he's also looking for the One Piece. He's also the second in command to Whitebeard. And then they're all like super shocked of who he is. And then there's like lots of like those other ships trying to take them on, and he just like literally rams through them all and beats them. He also did ask Luffy if he wanted to join Whitebeard's crew, but Luffy said no, of course. And then he gave him a piece of paper which he says we'll bring them together again on the high seas later, not a backward port like they are in now. So I guess we will see him again. He was pretty cool. I'm so curious what is going on. But yeah, that's the direction he left now already. Also, Vivi sent off a letter with the bird of everything that she had discovered about like the BAROQUE works and everything to send to her father. And I don't think that letter is going to go in a good hands, is it? They never do, so we shall see. We have chapter 160, Spider's Cafe at 8 o'clock. Weird title. First we see Luffy and them planning of how they're going to get to the rebel camp where there's like 700,000 rebels, and she wants to reason with them because I think they don't actually want to be rebels. They just have it so terrible because of the BAROQUE works are really the ones controlling everything, I think. So like it will be ripped apart by Civil War or something. I don't even know if I remember correctly. And then also Luffy gets like really like thick clothes because she needs to be covered up in the sun, in the desert obviously. But this river they're on called Sandora River, and my name in Japanese is Sandora. So I was funny because it's Sandy Island, Sandora. I know it's just a play on sand, but it was fun. It was my island, obviously. Now we see the Mr. 1, 2, and 3 or whatever meet in this cafe that they almost destroy. They start fighting, but they're going to see the boss that they never see the face of. I realized that they don't usually meet him, but yeah, interesting. And then they basically had a meeting where they fought and going to see someone. That is chapter 161, the Green City Erumalu. Maybe we're going to this meeting, or maybe we are following the others. I don't know yet. Let's go. Okay, so we see for a moment the people driving to this meeting, but we don't really get to see any meeting, really. Then we are in the town. It's Yuba. The town is full of a desert, and it used to be really green there, and now Vivi explains that it stopped raining there for like 3 years, and the only place where it rained was like the Kingstown. Everyone thought it was a miracle, but then one day a delivery was like fell over in the middle of town, and it turns out there was rain powder, which was something a scientist invented to summon rain. But it turns out when you use that, it steals the moisture from around them, like, so that's why like the other cities didn't get any rain, and then they blamed it on the killing, and then rebellion struck out, and lots of people died. But it turned out like this is just a part of the Crocodile scheme. I don't think he actually uses rain power, we didn't know about it, and like I think that value falling over was obviously a trick and like part of the whole scheme, because then they all thought that the king was just stealing the moisture from everyone, but he never meant to do so. So yeah, interesting to learn like more backstory of how everything went to shit here. But Vivi is super sad and crying, and now they all like, okay, let's get moving. We're gonna do this. So chapter 162, Adventure in the Kingdom of Sand. They're walking in the desert. Everything is going to shit. They are hungry and tired, and want to eat all the time and drink all the time, even though obviously they need to like conserve their supplies. Luffy has a responsibility to take care of the supplies. He sees some dead birds and runs over to the others. Should we save them? Apparently the birds was tricking them and took all the supplies for 2 days, so they don't basically have anything left almost. And then Sanji's like, Luffy, and it's like super mad. And then Sora's like, it's fine, it's chill, let's just rest for 10 minutes and then we'll be fine. Then they use like dragon things up and tries to attack them. Sanji, Luffy, and Sora attack the other ones, and they had no chance and died instantly. And then they could eat some of the meat at least from that dragon. And then Luffy also eats some cactus, which apparently you get hallucinations of, so he goes a bit crazy. Chopper needs to sedate him. So there's that. And now they also have like a camo that they saved, and he lets them ride on him, but only the girls. So Vivi and Nami is getting a ride while the others have to walk. And then they're just like dragging Luffy like from his foot, and it's hilarious. Either way, chapter 163, Yuba, the town of rebels. But right before they arrived there, Vivi did look over, said something seemed wrong, so we should see if something is wrong. They arrive at the town and no one is there because it's been sandstorms having there, so they left it as a base, and the base is actually back in the port they were in earlier. She meets a dude that she knows when she was little, it seems like. We're getting a flashback from 11 years earlier when they were kids, and then there's like this dude with his father coming from village complaining to the king, and then the kid gets in a fight with Vivi, and then they become friends, it seems like. We're kind of like in the middle of a fight now. So we're back in a little flashback. So now we have chapter 164, I Love My Country. To just see how this little flashback turns out, and if he was that other kid she was fighting or someone else. I don't know yet, but we shall see. Okay, so in this flashback, she almost gets kidnapped, but then Kosa and the other village boys saves her, and she loves her friends, and like they're very there to her. And then his father was the one who came to complain, and then he gets sent to Yuba to build a magnificent city where people can like meet up in the middle of the desert. And then Kosa is the man who was like there explaining to them what happened to Yuba. And then, not Kosa, the father to Kosa, sorry. His name was Koko, I think. And then Kosa is the leader of the rebels, who was Vivi's childhood friend, who saved her from like the kidnappers. And he has grown up just like her. Now we have chapter 165, Operation Utopia. Okay, I think maybe that was the second to last chapter in this. We have one more. So basically, the Tutu was also digging for water, and Luffy helps him, but that also sabotages him. But he does actually help him and find some water. And then they all go to sleep. We also see the meeting of like the BAROQUE works, and the leader says that it's time to make them their Utopia for like the island Alabasta to disappear. All the way in the end of the chapter, Luffy says he quits when they're gonna move on. So we don't really know what he means because it ended on that cliffhanger. So I guess we're gonna find out. They did find some water though. Now the next chapter is 166, Luffy versus Vivi. And I'm now finished. What's happening is that we first see like the Crocodile and his like BAROQUE works, and that they're saying that they need to stop Vivi from meeting her childhood best friend, because then maybe she can stop the rebels. And they're like all gonna go stand out to stop them. Then we have Luffy, who just said he quit, and he says that it's not gonna help going to talk to the rebels. I want to kick these crocodile dudes, but so that's what I want to do. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. And then he says like it's naive of you to think that no one will be hurt or killed in this fight. And then she's like, it's not naive, I should be able to believe this, something. And he's like, but then we should take them out before they can hurt more people. I think that's what I said, be your friends, right? And then she cried, and it was a beautiful friendship moment. So then he's like, so where is this crocodile dude? And chapter ended, and that is their journey. It truly is BAROQUE works. I never think like when they call an arc, I never truly think like of what the names means, and it truly is like BAROQUE works, because that's like the main villain throughout all of this with the Vivi storyline. Even though we have these pit stops on the way, like this is the final boss. I think it's gonna take a few volumes to like get through them and defeat them, I think, but it's gonna be really, really great to see. It's a very, very fun, exciting time. It will be sad, I think, to say goodbye to Vivi, because I do not believe she will stay with them, but she's a great character. I really enjoy her and enjoy seeing them all come together and this crew. Now, I finished that, and I hope you have enjoyed my journey of One Piece finally continuing. Leave a rating there down below if you enjoyed this. You should see me soon in the video. Thank you so much for watching this. I follow my journey, and you should see me soon. Goodbye!